Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the America Guns and Freedom podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today, as always, this is just an open chat. You set the agenda. You decide what we're going to talk about by asking questions or suggesting topics. There's multiple ways you can do it. You can do it through the live chat. Just make sure you put at the Yankee Marshal in front of it. You can send me emails at shootingleftofcenter@gmail.com. Or if you want to get entered into the bunch of drawings we're doing, you can use the Phil Tithe P&V Bobcat giveaway link at the top up here to do a super chat through PayPal. If you ask me a technical question and I don't know the answer to it, remember, you can ask questions about anything. Doesn't even have to be gun related. But if you ask me something that's a technical question, I don't know the answer, pay attention to the live chat. Someone in there will probably know. I don't, maybe, but someone in there will. So pay attention and participate. Build a sense of community. As always, I like to start the chat by reading the names of people that have ordered merchandise over the last 24 hours, but I don't think today that we have any. And I desperately need somebody to buy something because it did its little screw up thing yesterday, and I put all the money in I needed to put in to send in all the orders, but then it adjusted the shipping cost on one of them. So now I was 20 cents short on putting all the orders through. And I have to transfer over a minimum of $10. And I don't want to transfer over $10. I don't got $10 to spare in the accounts right now. We're $700 and something shot negative in the one account. I'm having to put money in from my savings account to cover it before we start getting fees. But so I didn't got the 10 to spare. So hopefully somebody will order something, because then I'll, if someone orders something that's $12, then I'll just transfer over $12.20. And that way I'm not, because that's over $10. I don't got to do a $10 that I don't need. But like I was saying, so if anybody wants to order something, go order something. Get yourself the Wear Possum shirt. No one ever bought these. These are awesome. The whole point of these shirts are to tell people, leave possums alone. They're good. They're peaceful. Leave them alone. They're beneficial. So leave them alone. Since the Wear Possum series, there's 3 of them. It's a trilogy. This is the Attack of the Wear Possum, where the guy's out there, then he starts changing under the full moon, and then he's a full-blown Wear Possum, and he hisses, and the guy standing up there turns around, looks at him, and he plays dead, because they're not violent. So Wear Possum's not violent. All right. So if you want to get some merch like this, like I was saying, or help the channel in any way, all you got to do is go over to TYMPpistolproject.com. Over at TYMPpistolproject.com, there's links where you can go buy merchandise, support the programs, Handguns for Heroes, Pets, Toy Guns for, TYMPPP, the Yankee Marshal Pistol Project. You can support those by buying merch, or you can support all the programs by becoming either a Patreon member or a Subscribe Star member. Patreon supports Pets and Vets. Subscribe Star supports everything else and has one tier that supports Pets and Vets. And you get all kinds of cool patches and stuff. So go on over there, sign up at a tier over there, become a supporter of the channel, even if it's just $2 a month. You're not going to miss $2 a month, but if a bunch of you do that, that means that's one more animal we can save every month. So please go over and become a supporter. We've lost so many supporters over there. It's collapsed. Both of them, Subscribe Star and Patreon, have collapsed. I think it's because I said some stuff about Donald Trump that some people didn't like. Like, I point out that he's not doing anything for us and he's doing stuff against us. They get really mad when you point out to them that he's doing stuff against us. And I think the reason they get mad is because they have to bend over backwards trying to create a false reality to be able to support him. Because when you point out that, like, oh yeah, he had his Justice Department decide that, they should be able to take away rights from people that smoke marijuana, and they want that codified so that they can act on it preemptively. And they're like, oh, it's bizarro world. He's doing it because he's changing things and making them better, and blah, because they're fucking retards. So I don't know what it is about putting on that red hat, but I think it cuts off circulation to their brains, because when he's actively working against them, they still pretend like he's doing the right thing. But as I was saying, if you want to do that, go over to my TYMPpistolproject.com website. There's a link in the upper corner of this video, right up there. You can go over there, buy merchandise, become a patron, subscribe, star supporter. You can sign up for things like starting. Oh shit! I got to get the Handguns for Heroes thing running. I'll do that tonight. So yeah, I'll do that tonight. So as of tomorrow, you'll be able to go over and nominate someone for Handguns for Heroes and sign up for TYMP for yourself. Oh, and remember, subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications. Don't select some notifications. Hit that little bell, select all. That way you'll get some at least. With that being said, let's go over to the questions. I babbled through that for quite a while. I didn't mean to spend that much time on that. But let's go over here, see if we got any questions coming in via the PayPal. Officer Tater Hater paid his tithe to Phil and said, gotta get up at 200 hours for a load going to Baltimore. I'll have to listen tomorrow when available. That video is of that cop stalking that girl during a traffic stop. Pissed me off. Gin Pop and Bubba time needed. He didn't get gross today. Must have been tired. He has to get to bed early. Sean Bain chimed in and said, sunglasses for daytime shooting. I do that. I have sunglasses I use for daytime shooting. Here's the thing, as long as you have impact resistant lenses, which most polycarbonate lenses nowadays are. I mean, show me glasses that are glass anymore. They're mostly polycarbonate. And remember, you're most likely just going to be stopping at either a little piece of a shell casing or a shell casing. It's not like you're going to stop a bullet. None of them will stop a bullet if someone shoots you in the eye. But as long as they're reasonably thick polycarbonate lenses, like I wouldn't get those really like paper thin ones that you get at the gas station and use those. But I mean, they should be fine. You should be fine. I wear my prescription sunglasses to the range so I can see the fucking targets. If I don't, I can't see the goddamn targets. Because with me, I either have to be able to see the gun or the targets, one or the other. I need my bifocals. I don't got bifocals yet. I need them, but I've never gotten them. But yeah, the sunglasses are fine to range. In fact, most people who wear glasses don't even have to put anything extra on at range. They just wear their glasses. Kevin Payton chimed in and said, "Hail Phil! This for entry into Yankees double super secret Korth and no Korth giveaway. That's not the way it's not working. No, you're all not fooling me." Edward Howerton chimed in and said, "Did you just say they made binary triggers illegal? This is news to me, though it totally doesn't apply. I would never own something like that." Yeah. Binary triggers have pretty much been declared by the ATF to not. Okay, here's where I need to interrupt myself because I say something stupid. I say the ATF doesn't like them. I meant to say the state of Washington doesn't like them. I live in Washington. They're illegal in the state of Washington. The federal opinion on them is that they're still legal, although there are a lot of contradictory opinions in the ATF right now on them. The official stance is still that they're legal. That might change. But as of right now, they're mainly just illegal in states like the state of Washington. So once again, perfect example of why you don't listen to me when I'm rambling, because my brain don't work so good. So I just wanted to make sure I made that clear. You shouldn't have them. Bad person if you got them. That was Edward Howerton. Then we got John and Mandrick chiming in. "With another idiot shooting a kid 11 years old for a ring and run, maybe we should do basic legal training to own a gun." Well, no, unfortunately, we can't weed out stupid people. We can't make it illegal to just be absolutely dead dog stupid because there's too many people that are dead dog stupid. Hence the Trump cards I was talking about earlier. And you could say the same about some people that follow things on the left, but here's the thing. They don't do it the same way the MAGA people do. If Kamala Harris tomorrow used the wrong pronouns for somebody, they would tear her down, set her on fire, and dispose of her forever. They wouldn't fall over backwards trying to explain it to her. They eat their own very quickly. So it's not the same thing. But as I was saying, Yeah, we can't outlaw being stupid, unfortunately. Because no amount of training is going to make you not do that. Either you're smart enough to not shoot a kid for ringing your doorbell or you're not. All the training would do is make it more likely you hit them. So I don't think it would make any good, do any good. If you know what I mean. Kevin Payton weighed in and said, missed the info. Now, how does the handguns for not homos, heroes? You're not getting a handgun. See, he's trying to make it to where he gets a handgun. You're not getting a handgun. It's for heroes. And the way it works is if you know somebody, someone who's maybe a veteran, a war hero, someone who serves their community through community service, they're always there. They always do the right thing. They go above and beyond. You know, they don't just sit on the couch and watch football all the time. They get out in their community. They help people. They do stuff like that. You know, heroes, actual heroes. Well, you get to nominate them, say why they're a hero, and then every other month we're going to choose. We will alternate with TYMP. We're going to choose, and at first we might do 2 handgun for heroes in a row. Might take a little while to get TYMP sorted out, but you nominate them, and then the same judges that judge TYMP will choose one, and we will give them a special trophy that is actually a working handgun. It'll be a custom with the custom engraving and everything on it, and we'll give it to them, and it'll say proudly presented to and have their name on it on the RMR cover, and you give it to them, and it's a little trophy that's a real good. So going over there and nominate someone you think's a hero. Once I get it set up today, I'll get it set up today. I forgot. That catches us up. Oh, that ends us on the super chats over there. Let me see if we've got any emails. I think we do have some. I opened some already. All right, let me get to these. Let me share the window. And remember, anybody can weigh in at any time for the shooting the shit topic. You can go ahead and start weighing in now. The topic today is binary triggers. Are they a good thing? And are they worth fighting for? Is this a fight that we should be dedicating resources, time to, or should we just be spending that time trying to fight the NFA? Or is it just something stupid, or is it something very valuable? Is it important that we fight for something like that? Let me know what you think. Weigh in right now via the YouTube super chat. We'll get to it when we get to the next segment. But let's get over here and hit the share screen button. And then the bulldog one. This was sent by Frank Rodriguez. It says, this illustration shows how rapidly an English bulldog breed declined in just 50 years' time. Today, every English bulldog is a close genetic relative to one there. Oh, yeah, they're not that far off. Yeah, they used to look more like pit bulls. Now they look like that. That was for show and all this other stuff. And they had all kinds of bullshit reasons to do it. But there wouldn't be any dogs if we didn't do some genetic manipulation. There just wouldn't be dogs because we just have wolves. But that's why people ever ask me, what's your favorite breed of dog? I'm always like mutts. I like mixed breeds. Turnip's mixed breed. Django's a mixed breed. I won't get any full bloods. Then we got Sig P227 SAS that said, this thing is pretty and a beast. I got one of them right there. They're heavy as fuck, but they're very cool. I got one too. I wish I'd gotten the carry one, but I didn't. Go Shadow sent a email here, and he said, my Tanto folding knife with a tape measure for scale. You could have just told us how long it is. Like, we're not stupid. I don't know if is that blade legal? Are we allowed to have over 4 inches in Washington? Or is that right at 4 inches? I don't know. But yeah, it looks nice. Camillus. I don't know who that is. Titanium. But it's very light if it's titanium. That's the scales, I'm assuming. They're titanium. Let's see here. And then we got an email from share screen, Winder. See here. And this one is from Jay Lugo sent this, says he saw this on Reddit. The guy wanted to have a subcompact. Yeah, that's a hack job right there. I mean, it works. I'd want to finish that off a little better around the bottom, but and now you can't get to. I guess you could put a finger grip extension on right here, but some people do some weird stuff, and I think a lot of people do this just as rage bait, just to get you to look at it and just lose your marbles. We got an email coming in from MoG522. He said, I'm interested in joining the military part-time. Do you recommend reserves or the National Guard? Then what branch and why? Well, I would definitely recommend the reserves if you just want part-time. But, and I'm going to say Air Force. Join the Air Force Reserves because it's the easiest one and you get the best training. You get training that's more likely to be used in the real world. But yeah, definitely reserves and definitely Air Force. Now, I was Army. And if I could go back and do it again, I'd go Air Force in a minute. I would have gotten a skill that I could use in the outside world. Did not get that in the Army. Counterintelligence is not a skill. Well, unless I guess I wanted to go into security or something like that. Or I originally had planned to go CIA or FBI and then decided, oh God, I hate this cop shit. So I did that path. I was going to get that training, go to law enforcement, and then move up to the CIA, FBI, blah, blah, blah. It just didn't work out. So my training is completely useless now. But it's not useless. I find I use it all the time, to be honest. Usually sniffing out assholes and liars on the internet. Because, they always got to say something that just don't quite jive, if you're paying attention. But yeah, I would definitely go reserves, Air Force. Bobby Price says, if you didn't hear about it, this is the Google monopoly case. If you didn't hear about it, if it ends up having a real effect, the judgment on Google has been filed. Unfortunately, it is sealed at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. Why would it be sealed? Why can't we know what the government and Google came to a conclusion on? They don't want to see the bribery. Is that what it is? They don't want us to see the unfair favoritism that they're being given. Back in the day, they broke up Ma Bell. Nowadays, they don't break up nothing because the people that own the company own the politicians. So they don't fucking do anything. Back then, Ma Bell didn't own the politicians. We watched money in politics closer. And they didn't say this, well, corporations are people and they can give as much money as they want. You didn't have that bullshit. That's one of the worst things the Supreme Court did in a very long time. The founding fathers specifically said corporations were not people and that corporations had no role in government. So talk about being, I'm a constitutional, originalist, some of them on the Supreme Court. No, you wouldn't say that corporations are people. Founding fathers clearly stated that corporations had no place in government or religious people. They were very clear about that too. So they don't really adhere to the wishes of the founders. They twist whatever they want into serve whatever purpose they want. All right. I think that's, did I have another one? Oh, no. Okay. I was talking about Bobby. Welper sent me something saying that, the Google thing is in, but we don't know what it is yet. So, all right, let me make sure I'm still caught up on everything here, and then we'll get over to the live chat. Kevin Payton weighed in again and said, I nominate a nominal snowman for the handgun for heroes. He saves us from the Alaskan Yetis. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if he actually saves us from the Yetis. And would they be Yetis in Alaska? Those would still just be Bigfoot, wouldn't they? Yetis are in the Himalayas. So I don't think there are. I think so. That's why I think he's getting by on I protect us from Alaskan Yetis. Well, there ain't no such thing as Alaskan Yetis. So he can clearly say, we've never been attacked by Alaskan Yetis. That's like when Turnip says he's in charge of keeping the elephants away from the house, and he's doing his job because we've never been attacked by elephants. There's no elephants here. Same thing there. There's no Alaskan Yetis, so we can't disprove him. That's what he's doing, I think. So I don't think that makes him a hero, to be honest. But that catches us all up on the super chats and everything. How many people did we get entered over here? 3. So we'll give the knife away tomorrow if we don't get a lot more, which I don't see us getting in the next little bit. Let's see here. Where were we at? Let me get to the live chat over here and see what we got coming in. I'll go up as far as I can. Oh, I can go all the way up. In an ideal world, fight them on everything. That's got to do with the shooting the shit topic, which anybody can weigh in on the shooting the shit topic now via the YouTube super chat. The topic tonight is binary triggers. Are they a good thing, and are they worth fighting for? Is it something that the gun community should be spending time and money on when we could be spending it on other things like the infringements that make those even an issue? Since it's the beginning of the month, you should start the keto diet. See what kind of results you have. No, the keto diet is the stupidest diet, period. Isn't that the one like you eat what cavemen eat or primitive man ate? Well, here's the thing. Primitive men ate different diets depending on where they lived. So it's stupid. And you know what? Those primitive men, they lived to be about in their 20s usually, if that long. The average age, even counting the oldest, was, but they think between 28 and 30 years. And even in medieval times, we went up into the 1500s and stuff. We only increased that to like 35 years. So don't tell me to eat like people that live 25 years. Doesn't make sense to me. Binary triggers are for double tap shooting. That's for the after chat. That's not for this chat. I was hyping up your channel, Yankee. When was that? When were you hyping my channel? I don't believe you. I don't think anybody ever hypes up my channel. I think you're pulling my leg. My cats usually leave a little food for the possums, but we had to quit feeding them outside because of the bears. Yeah, bears would be a problem. I put food out for I have an outdoor cat out here that lives in the little room where our oil tank is. It's a decommissioned oil tank. Hasn't had oil in it in 20 years or 30 years probably. Well, since the house has been built, it's probably had oil in it once, and now they took it offline right after they had it. And we've never done anything with it. So she lives in that area. She's got a little area there where she sleeps and everything. And there's just a little opening on one side of it where she can crawl in and out. And it comes into my carport, and it's got a little gate leaned up against it. So she's got a really safe way to come in and out. So she lives in there, and I feed her wet food. Possums and stuff don't get into that. I do put out food for the deer and the squirrels and all that stuff. I have thought about getting a little feeder and just putting out cheap dog food for the possums and the raccoons. But I haven't done it yet. I like to keep wildlife in the yard. I think Trump did that marijuana ruling to get at Joe Rogan because Joe was hounding Trump to release the Epstein files. That could be, but who wants a politician, a leader that does such petty bullshit? That's petty bullshit. We got an email came in just now. Came in and said, this is from Paul Badenbach. Switched out the stock and the controls accents. You put black stuff on here. What stocks did this originally have? Was this the brown ones and you put the silver wood? Which one? I have brown, and I have one with silver wood too, but it doesn't have a shorter barrel. But yeah, it looks got some black accents on it now. It looks like a Smith & Wesson. Because you know how they do their guns. Some of their kind of like the combat magnums with the black trigger and black hammer and black cylinder release and stuff. Kind of reminds me of that. Remove all warning signs and the issue with all the stupid people will gradually solve itself. Well, that's could be said to be true, but today's society, we protect the stupidest among us because they dumb everything down to the lowest level. It's one of the things that's wrong with our education system. When you quit dumbing things down to the slowest kid in the class, oh, but we can't separate them all out into different levels or else that'll make them feel bad. Well, fucking still they'll learn at least. And then you're not punishing the smart kids. Smarter kids, I should say. If you could legislate against dead dog stupid, the governments of most countries would be very empty. Well, yeah, because most of them are pretty stupid. Well, some of them, I mean, don't underestimate them. The senators and stuff, most of them are pretty smart. Even the ones that act like what's his name? You know, he acts like I'm just a good old country boy. He's a lawyer that graduated from Yale. That's the airs they put on to get elected, but they're conniving, intelligent, deceitful people. So don't underestimate them. Now in the House of Representatives, yeah, there's lots of morons in the House of Representatives. It's a plethora of dead stupid people. In these storage wars shows, when the owner of the facility finds a gun, are they allowed to keep it or auction it off? No, they wouldn't be allowed to do that in their world. They'd have to have an FFL, and they'd have to show it coming in from a legitimate source. And if it's a found gun, they'll probably go out and turn it into the police. But here's a little secret for you. I don't know if you know this or not. Those storage war shows are fake. Very fake. One of my friends one of my old friends, his ex-girlfriend's brother was on one of those shows. They're totally fucking scripted. His ex-wife, I guess I should say now, because they got married and then divorced. Yeah, they're fake. They plant those things and they put stuff in like, oh, look. You ever know sometimes you'll go in, they'll do it, and they're like, okay, what's under the tarp? And they'll lift it up and they'll be like, oh, it's a vintage pinball machine. And it's pristine. There's not even dust on it. Or there's no dust on the tarp when they lift the tarp. Everything else is covered in an inch of dust. The tarp is bright blue and clean, like they just put it in there. Those shows are fake. Let's see. Make sure I'm all caught up. We got Johnny Mandrick chiming in over here. And he said, did you see where Washington Sheriff Keith Swank tweeted, do you think it's time to ban trans people from owning guns? You shouldn't even be asking that question. To ask that question shows you have a strong misconception of what the Constitution means. And it means you're not a supporter of gun rights. If you start saying, well, we can take them away from some people, well, then you can take them away from all people. Because if you say, well, we're going to take them away from trans people because they're volatile and they're vulnerable and well, so are women. Can you take them away from women? And you know who the most volatile, violent group is? Males, especially white males and black males. So black males especially. So you're going to take them away from blacks next? Is that the next group? Well, then what about just plain males? We're violent as hell. So, yeah, it's just to even ask the question shows you have no support for the Second Amendment whatsoever. You don't care about the Constitution. Or you wouldn't even ask the question because you wouldn't want that idea even floating out there with your name attached to it. The fact that you asked the question, don't give me I'm just asking the question, because no, you put it out on a public forum with your name attached to it, suggesting that this could be something we could even consider. That means you are a piece of shit. Not you, that sheriff guy, but you're kind of a piece of shit too. But you're the kind of piece of shit we're used to. Different type of shit. Keto is not stupid. You can do it for a while and drop a lot of weight. We can do anything for a lot of stop eating food, just start drinking, wire my jaw shut and just drink liquids. Keto diet is stupid. Any doctor would tell you, don't fucking do these diets. The only people who tell you to do these diets are dietitians who make money off the diets, and they set these diets up because they know they never work and that people have to keep coming back and re-signing up to do another diet. Don't do diets. The biggest thing you can do is exercise more, eat less. That's the key. Keto is stupid. Binary triggers are that's part of the other conversation. Our Paleolithic ancestors were omnivorous, hence the term hunter-gatherers. Women gathered berries and men hunted. Women hunted too. There's lots of evidence that women hunted just right alongside the men. That whole women gathered and men hunted, that's bullshit from a bygone era where women were always housewives. Or cave wives or tent wives or whatever, TP wives. It's not a real representation of history. Wrong. It's a low carb diet. Best for diets. Still not a good idea. No doctor will tell you to do these diets, period. Like I said, only dietitians will. I come from a family of doctors. I'm married into a family of doctors. They would have all told you if they weren't dead already. These diets are ridiculous. They're not sustainable. They always put you in a deficit one way or another. They're not good for your health. They'll let you lose weight, but they'll also make you sicker. And they don't work long term. So you're harming your health, yo-yoing. And they're only set up to make you successful for a little while, fail, and then start a different program that you pay for. Just eat less, exercise more. Eat healthy, but don't eat a special strict diet. No, just eat healthy. Eat more fruits, eat more vegetables. Eat less meat. You'll be fine. Cut down on your sugar. You don't have to do these special freaking diets. They're made to be failures so that you will come back for something else. Where are we? Where did we go? I lost my place. Porthos dropped a super chat. That is general. Oh, okay, let me see. Evening Yankee, if you had to pick between P365 Hellcat, FN Reflex, or M&P Shield, which would you pick? Well, I wouldn't pick any of those. But between those three, P365, I would say probably the P365, because you can get some pretty cool ones. They got some nice looking ones, two-tone gray with, you can even get like gold triggers and stuff. So I think I'd go with the P365. I wouldn't go for that kind of gun myself. And also I believe you can get the aluminum frame for the P365, can't you? So I would go with the P365. I don't want any of them, but I would go with the P365. If I had to choose, if someone held a knife to my throat, it would be the P365. All right, everybody. Remember, weigh in for the shooting the shit. We'll get it started as soon as we can after we finish this chat, and we're getting close to the end of this chat. So weigh in. Do you think binary triggers are a good thing, and are they worth fighting for? Should we be fighting for them, or should we just spend our time fighting to get fully automatic rifles? Fernando Metal let's see. Where was Fernando Metal? Hey, can you do some range videos where you go out and shoot some steel? I've done several lately. Nobody fucking watches them. So probably not doing any extra ones, no. Every time the USMC, ever try the USMC boot diet, all you can eat, but only 5 seconds to eat. Yeah, that's another gimmick. You're not going to stick to that. Don't do that shit. Then run 3 miles before and after each meal. You know what? Just running 3 miles every day would solve 99% of the obesity problem. If everybody just moved 3 miles every day, physically moved their body 3 miles distance every day, we would probably need most diets and stuff. Most people would be pretty healthy. Just do Ozempic because that's so natural and you won't ever have side effects. Countries' doctors tell you to do the countless. No, good doctors do not tell you to do any of these special diets. I hate to break it to you. I don't know where you're getting your information from. They do not. Now, sponsored doctors, they pay to do that, like on commercials and stuff. But you go into a dietitian or a doctor and they'll tell you, no, don't do these stupid fucking diets. They're not good for your health. They are short-term at best, and they are not something you can maintain. And they put your body in deficits. That's how they make you lose weight. They put your body into deficits that you shouldn't be in. So, because instead of burning calories by being active, you're burning calories by being in deficits. And that's not good for your body, period. And I know a lot of you fatties have lost some weight on it. I've lost weight on diets before too, but it's temporary. And it's not good for you. I did one of those diets a while back before I started to go back into, remember I went and did the police academy training again, and I wanted to get back in shape before I did that. So I did one of them diets, and I knew it was going to be short term, but I lost like 25, 35 pounds on it, and wasn't sustainable, and it wasn't good for my health. My labs were all over the fucking place when I did that. Unless you got something physically wrong with you, where you have a deficiency where you have to eat certain things and can't eat other things, or you have an allergy, just eat healthy and then get more exercise. That's the one thing every doctor will tell you. First thing when they say, you go into a doctor and you say, I want to lose weight, they'll be like, how much do you move? How much do you work out? And they'll say, do that more, and then eat a little less of what you're eating now. Let's see, where are we at? Should I get the Ruger Red Hawk Alaskan 454 or the Walther PDP SF match? Ugh, I'd get the Ruger Alaskan 454. It's just a far superior gun. It's not like you're comparing two semi-automatic guns. You're comparing the far superior revolver and a semi-automatic gun. So get the far superior revolver. I'm not saying that women gathered a disparaging way. I'm saying they gathered more often than the men did. This was especially true when they were pregnant or unable to hunt. Yeah, when they were pregnant, unable to hunt, stuff like that, they would do more of the gathering and stuff, but they didn't do like tending crops or anything. So there wasn't a whole lot of that. When it came to tending crops, a lot of people think that's only a men's thing. Women did just as much of that as the men did. And when it came to hunting, women hunt right beside the men. And a lot of men weren't as good at hunters, so they would gather more. Some of them would just be like, hey, Billy, you just go gather. You're fucking up the hunt. So it was spread more evenly amongst the people. There wasn't as clear a sexually defined role there. I lost weight when I had food poisoning. Is that a good diet? I've lost weight with food poisoning too. I was in the hospital once for 2 weeks with food poisoning. It was horrible. I had a horrible case of food poisoning. I've had food poisoning to where it was just like, oh, my stomach's upset. You're sick for like 5 or 6 hours. Then you feel better. I've had food poisoning where I threw up and I felt better. But then I've had food poisoning to the point where like I was so sick for over a week, like 2 weeks. I got food poisoning. I was really sick. I went to the doctor. I got medications and stuff. Wasn't getting better. 3 days later, wasn't better. Went back to the doctor. They put me on something else. Didn't get better. 24, 48 hours later, they had to bring me into the hospital, give me fluids and stuff. And I'd stay in there for a few days. Ugh, I lost a lot of weight on that. I was chiseled too, because that was back when I was in shape. I was in good shape. I come out of there looking like I was getting ready to participate in Mr. Olympia or something. I was chiseled. But I was dehydrated and stuff too when I first went in. I looked good. I was like, boy, I wish I could look like this all the time. Most doctors tell diabetics to keep eating bread, potatoes, and pasta. How fucked up is that? Most doctors don't do that. Most doctors tell you if you're diabetic to cut back on things like carbohydrates and meats and everything. They tell you to cut down on your sugar, cut back on your carbohydrates. I have diabetes, and I've been to different doctors. Like I said, I got multiple doctors in the family. They tell you cut down on your carbohydrates, cut down on your calories. Start exercising. They do the same thing that they tell people who just want to lose weight, basically, because oftentimes losing weight helps diabetic people. Running 18 miles a day in boot camp. By the end, we were running 3 miles with 175 pounds of gear on. They stopped that because of too many leg and back injuries from the weight. Yeah, they stopped doing as much running. There's not nearly as much running. There's not as much weighted running. It's like used to be when you trained for the police academy. When you did your run in the police academy, they put a weighted vest on you. Same thing in the Army. Now they don't do that anymore. It leads to more potential problems than it does anything else. Yes. Where were we? I think that might be it for the conversations. Why did you just cut down sugar? No, add bread, pasta, wheat, and seed oils. What? That doesn't make sense. No, add bread. I don't eat a lot of bread. I don't eat much bread, period. I don't eat a lot of pasta. I eat some every now and then. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of that stuff. And I try not to eat processed foods if I don't have to, but we do some, you end up eating some processed foods. Let's see here. Make sure I'm still caught up. No, we got a couple more questions over here I need to get, and then we're going to get on to the shooting the shit topic. So if you want to weigh in for shooting the shit, please do so. Topic today is binary triggers. Are they a good thing or not? And are they something we should be fighting for? Is it worth fighting for? And then we got questions over here. Just asking the question, should everyone be required to buy a 38? No, no one should be required to buy a 38 Super. In fact, that might be one thing where I would say we should be able to look at whether those people should be able to have guns or not. People who buy a 38 Super. Jeffrey Vaughn paid his tithe to Phil and said, I'm a long-term time proponent of the remove safety labels and guards, let nature do the rest. I've also spent a couple of years building safety systems around automated heavy industry. Yeah, it's fine to put caution, this might kill you, don't stand too close, things like that, or electromagnetism or radiation. But do we really need don't drink it on Tide Pods? Don't eat this. Do not ingest the Drano. Does that need to be on the bottle? I guess it doesn't hurt anything. No one reads them anyway. So are they really doing any good? Because here's the thing. If you're someone that would drink Drano, are you going to read the bottle first? Little kids, of course, aren't going to read the bottle first. But if you're an adult that's thinking, I might drink some Drano, are you going to read the bottle first? And can you read the bottle? That's another question. So, all right. We are done today with the America Guns and Freedom podcast. Thanks, everybody, for weighing in. I appreciate it. Let me see how many people we got weighed in over here. They got entries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, no knife giveaway today. I could do a t-shirt or something. Well, we'll see about that. Maybe tomorrow we'll set up. If we don't get enough to give away a knife, we'll do a t-shirt or something. But so none today, but hopefully tomorrow. It's the last knife to give away, so we got to get it given away. I'll be doing the shit here right after this, so stick around. Otherwise, I want to thank everybody who participated, everybody who asked questions, kept things rolling, everybody who sent in emails with pictures, everyone who supports our programs. Everything you do for the channel is appreciated. We need it now more than ever. The channel is under fire from YouTube, and you guys are the only thing making it possible to resist. So thanks for that. I will see everybody again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe till I see you again.